We're back. We're about to debunk all the myths around why police touch the backs of cars. Now, many of you know that I did law enforcement for a number of years, and I was trained in a particular way. You'll hear that here in the video. But watch this officer here. He's going to touch the car, but it's not with any part of his finger or his hand that is fingerprintable. Now, one thing that you do have to take into consideration is many of the new officers that are being trained by officers that would have been from my era. In 2002, the federal government made a mandate that all trunks have to have a safety latch. Prior to that, there was none. So what these officers are doing, being trained by older officers, are going through and checking the trunk. Because prior to that safety latch being installed, there were videos like this circulating and it became an officer safety issue. They decided training to check the trunk to push down on it was necessary. So I believe after time goes by, these officers are forgetting to actually push down on the trunk and just the muscle memory of touching it is still there. So let's see what these officers have to say about why they touch the trunk or the back of the car.
Oh, what's up, you guys? It's quick, man, we know. Hey, I have a real quick question. My viewers, some of them are really weird conspiracy theorists. Okay. All right, this is easy. I know why. I went through police school and all that stuff. But why do you touch the back of the vehicle when you walk up to it?
It's like an old school thing. Like, I've seen all the YouTube videos, man. It's like an old school thing. Sometimes they say it's like because you leave your fingerprint on it.
Yes.
And like back in the day, like if you ended up getting killed and they find the car later. But I actually just went to a class that said that's completely fake and that's never actually happened. And I think it's just like a ritual. So some people say it's because you're trying to like, and it's just muscle memory at that point. Yeah.
So what they taught me in 98, 99 in rookie school was that you walk up to the trunk and you push down on the trunk because back then they didn't have those emergency latches in there and people would keep the trunk down if they wanted to ambush you from behind. And that's why we would do it. We check the trunk to make sure it is open or closed and push down on if it's not. So that was about it. So
yeah, I've heard that it's like it just like kind of like distract someone for a second in case they were thinking about ambushing you or something crazy, like kind of like just throw them off the loop.
Yeah, that's right. Who's your sergeant on tonight?
Tonight is Nelson? And Bissa.
Bissa, okay.
We're east side. I don't know if you know where it is.
East side, west side, yeah.
We're east side. So
all right. All right, man. Good to see you. Well, that's it right there.
Yep, if you look carefully during a traffic stop, this happens all the time. So this was asked, and it says, why do law enforcement officers touch the back of the car during a traffic stop?
Now, the person that is explaining this is a former trooper, and while he is spilling misinformation, the first part of it is true. If you watch it on motorcycles, they don't touch the motorcycles. They don't touch the trucks. They don't touch any other vehicle except for ones that have trunks.
And every law enforcement officer going out there, I know this one. So anytime a traffic stop is conducted and a law enforcement officer gets off their motorcycle or whatever they're operating, as they approach that car, you're going to see something.
Yeah, you're going to see money siphoned out of your bank account in the way of a ticket and or your insurance going up because you get a citation.
You're going to look in that rearview mirror next time. Hopefully you don't get pulled over, but you're going to see that officer touch the back of your car. There's two reasons for this, and it's all for the sake of the law enforcement officer. First, they're making sure the trunk's closed. They want to make sure no one's hanging out, ready to pop out on somebody on a traffic stop. And the kind of really crazy part of it is they're leaving their fingerprints behind. And that is so they could prove that they were on that traffic stop, God forbid if something happened. So it kind of paints, unfortunately, a crime scene right then and there, because if that car decided to leave, that fingerprint would be on the back of the car.
I have not once ever seen a video or evidence that FDLE or any other agency has tracked, fingerprinted, or done anything with the back of a car when an officer was in a situation to dictate this.
Or if other circumstances presented themselves, it ties both the car and the officer together. So at least at the end of the day, we know who was involved.
And that's the problem. They'll put a pretty little face on the news with a suit and tie, and you believe it.